it's getting darker and darker, and there's just no way right now for these drivers to know exactly what's going to happen.
These guys are going to have to be really, really careful and tiptoe around the track until it's either
not even 10 minutes into this race, and I feel like we've got enough strategy going on for a whole event, but still a long, long way to go.
There's Yellowstone, there's Yosemite, but for racing fans and for Grid Life's Elkhart Classic, the destination is Road America, the National Park of Speed. Free ride in the front of the field here. Look at Emil Tab up the inside for the race lead. We head down to the first corner.
And these guys have no idea what they're coming into. Look at this field. They're 2 wide, 3 wide, a couple places slipping.
Side by side for the race lead, 54, 48 through 3 and 4, working lap number 60, 110 laps to go. Yusuf Ghali, power move to the bottom of the racetrack, making the short way work. They're going to touch down the hill.
This will be a great run for Fuller here.
Yeah, typically we'll ram off the track in the final quarter. That'll allow Fuller to get a massive.
Here he comes.
Does he have a look?
Oh, big block here by Sanfilippo. Into the grass goes Ben Fuller for turn 1. And Sanfilippo hangs on. He's loose. No! And he crashes hard in the exit of turn number 2. Don't try it here, boys. They're going to do it. Gritsko backside. They touch. They're going to crash. Gritsko going to slam the attenuator hard into the wall. And Jared Tesson hits him as well. And big damage on these cars. That's huge.
Number 4, people are struggling for grip, going out of every single lane, trying to make a run. It's getting really insane.
Powered by AWS for the Intercontinental GT Challenge, powered by Pirelli at the Indianapolis 8-hour. We are 7 hours and 18 minutes into this 8-hour event.
John Miller way deep on the brakes to the inside of turn number 1 and 2. The spin, the 3 car gets turned around in front of the car.
James Howden looking for a place to go, but he's got Austin Cobb to the inside. Bit of a gap behind. I think that's about 15th or 16th spot as they come out of turn 3. Big slide over this.
Getting a run. He's got it. Going to be a drag racing line. Final corner. Checkered flag waving. Here they come. At Virginia National Raceway. To the line. Thompson, Darling, door to door. Banging doors. Fender to fender. I can't believe what we just saw.
For the Outsider Racing League, it's the end of the regular season, but the beginning of a championship fight. This is the Outsider Racing League from Charlotte Motor Speedway, the last race in the regular season before our 12-driver chase kicks off here in just another week. Welcome to SimTV. My name's Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Connor Horn for our regular season ender from the 1.5-mile 4-turn oval here in Charlotte, North Carolina, the home of NASCAR, and tonight, the home of ORL. Connor, welcome back. This is going to be a fun one tonight. I've heard that these cars are a bit of a handful this evening, and we've got points to dish out and drivers to send home. Going to be an interesting race, to say the least, tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of drivers we might see a bunch of desperation moves, desperation strategies. We're going to see a lot of things come into play. Like you said earlier there, the setup's a bit on edge. A few people aren't really happy about it, but it's definitely going to make for some crazy racing. Last season's race here, which was the doubleheader at the Roval, it was a big race. It was a big handful that time. A lot of yellows last year. Maybe this year will be a bit different, but you really never know. And like we were talking about, the point situation, not completely dramatic, but there's still some things to dish out.
Well, we kick things off next week in the championship chase at Talladega, of all places. That's a wild card. Wild card tonight, maybe to deal with. Connor, what's our point situation looking like? Who's out, who's in, who's on the bubble coming into the night?
Now we got the top 7 drivers, and the points are all locked in. AJ Stravado, Jeff Wright, Bryce Calusa, Alex Bell, Bailey Turner, Angelo Horonis, and Brandon Bowers are all in. They have nothing to worry about. Then they got a few drivers there that are pretty much realistically locked in, but they really don't have to worry about it if they really just start the race. They're in. Case Lakatos, Jonathan Hernandez, Zach Halpern, and Zach Floyd. Basically, if they start the race, they're likely locked in already. And then you get to the 12th and final position for the playoffs. Jeremy Miller, 18 up on Clifton Cockle for that final transfer spot. Not a lot of drama going on there, but if Miller has something bad happen and Clifton Cockle gets a little bit of luck here and there, he might have a shot. Sam Devance here, 29 back, a very, very big outside shot, but anything can happen.
It's qualifying underway for our regular season finale. Jeff Wright goes to the top of the board. Bryce Calusa goes second quick. Adam Cabot in third. And about half the field has not yet made laps around the racetrack. AJ Stravado comes on through. That's a 29.345. We'll see if he goes quicker on the second lap. Setup is a little bit loose here, Connor. You're leaning on a lot of banking at this racetrack. This is one of the fastest ovals that we go to. Really high corner speeds. What are the challenges tonight? We're going to be racing into the sunset here. So what's the grip going to be like, and can you move around a little bit, or are you going to be stuck to the bottom on that blue line?
Really want to be on that blue line there, but in reality, it's going to be very tough to stay down there. You want to keep those left sides planted on that blue line, but because of how sideways this car is, it's going to be tough to do that. You might see drivers wash up a little bit in the center of the turns, and if they wash up, they'll try pulling that wheel left to get back to that blue line, and you might see those cars snap loose. You might see someone overcorrect to the outside wall, maybe cause a big crash. So it's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be tough to do on your own driving this track, but if you're trying to pass someone, that's going to be a whole nother story trying to do that.
Brandon Bowers jumps up to third, another strong qualifying effort for the number 31 Chevrolet. So it's Adam Cabot now on top with a 28.762 by 2 thousandths over Jeff Wright, then Brandon Bowers, Bryce Calusa, Jeremy Miller, the rest of the top 5. Casey Lakatos working his way into turn number 1. I don't think he's going to get around to complete a lap, so he will start towards the tail of the field. There is a handful of drivers in this grid that didn't show up for at least the tail end of practice. There are also some dollars on the line for the drivers lit up in green, with the exception of the 36 of Joshua Banks. He did not get his numbers colored in time, so he will not be eligible for the Dash for Cash prize. He must win the race under green flag conditions to be eligible for that bonus. Time to grid on the racetrack now. We'll head down there in just a moment. Again, this race will be about an hour long. It's 140 laps from start to finish. That's not a particularly short race. It's not also that long. It's right in the middle, kind of an intermediate length of race for us here at ORL. And we'll head down to the racetrack here, Connor, and some interesting information about Charlotte Motor Speedway. Constructed in 1960, so it's been around a while on the NASCAR schedule. And it's been recently updated with that infield road course, which we are not going to use today. Concord, North Carolina, where this track resides, population of about 80,000 people. And again, all of them kind of packing the grandstands here for our season finale. 4 turns, a mile and a half, pretty straightforward here, Connor, about Charlotte Motor Speedway. Nothing really out of the ordinary, just as your typical quad oval, very similar in style to Atlanta. And the screen on the back straightaway at one point was the largest TV screen in the world. Then Texas built one bigger, as they do over there. So some interesting facts and factoids. Again, we've got 140 laps of racing up here tonight. So in a minute, we'll roll through the starting grid here, Connor, and we'll start, I think, with row number 1, and it's going to be Adam Cabot in the 77 and Jeff Wright in that number 48 Chevrolet. He'll start P2.
If the 77 wasn't a part-time driver, he's on the outside of the chase. He'd be able to make it, but not quite. Brandon Bowers, Bryce Calusa, nothing to worry about. They're solidly into the chase on row 2. And then row 3, Jeremy Miller, 18 to the good, talked about earlier, just needs a strong run to solidify himself there. And Zach Halpern alongside him in 6th.
Jonathan Hernandez rolls off 7th alongside Ryan Carwile in the number 71. Rolling on back to row 5, AJ Stravado starts in 9th in the number 33. Bailey Turner starts 10th in the number 24 car. And row number 6, Alex Bell in the Sim Motorsports number 15 Camry. And Matthew Close rolls off 12th in the 92 car.
I believe 4 points separate Stravado and Jeff Wright for the regular season championship. Not sure if that matters for anything, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is row 7, Clifton Cockrell, Tim Downey Jr. Clifton 18 points down, needs a big day to make his way into the chase. Then on that 8th row, Ben Laughter and Caleb Weekly.
Then Eddie Trejo rolls off in 17th alongside Casey Lakatos in the 21 and 50 car. And then Eric Hutton rolls off in 19th place. He is not actually going to take the grid. Joshua Banks will, though, so he'll move up a row. Steve Turner in the 46 starts 21st. And Matt Wagner in the number 18, he is a Dash for Cash driver, starts 22nd. Then Robert Gaba, RJ Root, the 75 and 8. And one more row of drivers. We'll go back all the way to 26. We've got Corey Steinhauser and Zach Floyd in the 42. We might have one more straggler tacked on the back of this, and that will be Austin Carpe, and David Mott Jr. will not be racing tonight as we head on to the back straightaway. All right, Connor, 140 laps. How aggressive are you out of the gate, and do you think it matters to be aggressive out of the gate?
With how all over the place this setup seems to be for a lot of the drivers, a lot of drivers weren't happy with it. I would expect that a lot of drivers are going to try to be really conservative just to make sure they don't wreck themselves here. But we've seen crazier starts before. Chicagoland race a few weeks back, very crazy start, 2x2 racing there. I don't think you have a lot of room to go with 2x2 racing like in a pack like you did at Chicagoland. So I think a lot of these drivers should be more conservative, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right, what we're going to do is we're going to go silent for all of lap number 1 to let you listen to the sounds of the racing. Unless there's issues, you're going to hear the thunderous roar of 26 NASCAR Cup racing machines as they come out of turn number 4. Pace car is off. We're going green here from Charlotte. Here we go. Green flag flies, and we're racing at Charlotte for the season finale of the Outsider Racing League in the regular season before the chase begins at Talladega. Lap number 1 complete, and across the line, it's Adam Cabot who leads. Jeff Wright's going to swing out to drivers right on the entrance to the corner. He's going to try to pull alongside the 77. Calusa watching from third corner as they battle for the top spot.
Not a lot of grip up there, but Wright will make it work. Going to run. He gets down at backstretch, going to pull ahead into turn number 3, just barely. See a lot of drivers in the background trying to single file out. Actually, a car in the apron way in the back. That is Matt Wagner just getting out of the way of everyone. But see the outside line working so far.
So far, so good for the 48 car across the line. We're going to see probably a little bit of transition in the grip levels as the rubber moves around the racetrack in this 140-lap race. Big wiggle for the 48 on entry. The 20 car sees the hole open up in the middle. He's not going to go for it. Backs down, goes to the bottom. Now drifts up on exit. Here comes Bowers in that 31. He's going to tuck in behind the 20, and Chevrolet's shove down the backstretch.
Yeah, all Chevys in the top 4. That lone Camry, Zach Halpern there in the 5th position. Needs a good run. Had a lot of bad luck this season. Still has a very good chance of making the chase as these two are still side by side. No one can pull ahead.
Off into turn number 1. Door to door, dead even as they go through the first corner. Wright maintains on the outside lane. A bit of a bobble for the 77. The 48 car slips up. Calusa still watching, trying to see which line prevails. This is a learning experience for everybody right now.
Yeah, everyone's really trying to feel what the car's capable of, what you can't do, where the boundaries are when it comes to getting into the corner, and I think that's really the main part of what they're doing. What's good for Calusa, he can run whatever line he wants, but these two are stuck to their lines right now, and I think one of these drivers is wearing their tires out more than the other.
Still into turn 1. Still side by side. They've been like this for 5 laps. Jeff Wright having a bit of a flash there, but he's still alongside the 77, and they continue. Nose to nose down the back straightaway. This is unbelievable. A great start to this one here tonight. Again, the 77, not really in playoff contention, just here to win races, and he means business right now, but I think the 48 might prevail here.
Yeah, he's got a really good run going on here. He's just about clear, but the 77, a bit of side draft action going on there. Able to pull back alongside the 48 into turn number 1. The 48 might have him here, but he needs to get a big run. I don't think he's going to get it.
The 77 just turns left on exit to carry the short way around. Still has overlap off into turn 3. If Wright can play this move right, he's going to clear him. Now he does move Jeff Wright to the lead, but will he drift up and bring that 77 back on the front straight? No. Jeff Wright finally pulls ahead. 7 laps in, he's leading.
I'm interested to see how that's going to affect his tires, because usually when it comes to iRacing, that outside line does not like your tires that well. If you run up there, you will hurt your tires, so we'll see if he's able to stay up there, even though he was up there for so long. With the 77 getting a run back on him, just going to push him down the back straight.
No, he's going to
pull low.
Poke out and pull drivers left, yank the wheel towards that blue line on the bottom of the racetrack. They're back side by side again. Calusa just getting a heck of a show out the windshield here.
And those top 5 starting to pull away a little bit. You see Halpern's trying to stay on with these top 4 right now. And then you got sort of that second pack forming. Everyone's single file here except for the battle for the race lead as the 77 strong on the bottom there, but just not quite clear.
Calusa also having some issues here with server connectivity. Into turn 3, still door to door, 77-48. All right, Connor, pick me a winner. Who wins this race?
I mean, I think we know what 2 we're going to pick, but we really can't separate these 2 at all. I think I'm going to go with Wright. I think Cabot's, he's made a lot of mistakes under green flag pit stops. If you get the green flag pit stops, I think the 48's going to be better off there, but I think it's really going to come down to who gets the lead first.
Well, the 48 had it and immediately had to give way to the 77 as Cabot pushed his way back to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to continue again here. You mentioned the outside lane might wear those tires out, but what about the shorter radius? Do you have to hold that car down there, and does that scrub the rubber off these Goodyears?
It'll definitely hurt those tires a little bit. Just battling with someone's going to wear your tires out because of how hard you're trying to drive to stay under someone or stay above someone. They're definitely both wearing their tires out more than, say, Bryce Calusa or Brandon Bowers. Speaking of Calusa, he slipped off the bottom there. Maybe he's not having good luck with his tires there. Now we're side by side, 2 rows deep.
It's pretty single filed out behind them, but the front, they've just been like this. This is going to be exhausting, and you have to wonder. Every time you get cars side by side like this, someone's going to stop being nice at a certain point. So far, they're playing ball up here, but for how much longer do they have patience?
The one thing we're seeing, they're giving a lot of room to each other, especially on the straightaways through the tri-oval there. A lot of space between the 31 and the 20. They're playing nice for now. 31 just not quite clear there. He's probably going to clear him into turn number 3 as we're 2 by 2 right now. Halpern's starting to close back in.
Jeff Wright starting to edge away out on the outside lane, but he loses it through the mid corner, and the 77 powers back behind the bottom.
This is going to be interesting if we get some sort of late race restart off fresh tire, because I don't know which lane's better. 77 slides up, trying to close the 48 off into turn number 1 there. The 31 gets sideways with the 20 of Calusa all over his back bumper. Cabot finally clear.
Now the run down the backstretch. The 31's going to squeeze in between the 20 and the 48. In the background, Jeremy Miller pops out on AJ Stravato into turn 3. That's for 6th spot. Oh, big moment there. Going to push up the racetrack. Ryan Carwile in the 71 showing his oval prowess here as there's a battle for second place now involving Bowers and Wright. Now the 31 car going to poke his nose in there. He might grab the spot as well.
That's what I was talking about. Staying on that outside line for too long might really cook your tires, and sooner or later that outside line is not going to be as effective. You see everyone else lined up behind him on that blue line, but 48 Jeff Wright just kind of caught out here, trying to get in a hole behind, in front of Calusa, but just nowhere to go.
Since the introduction of the higher downforce package on these cars, this track has raced more like a super speedway than it has an oval. And you know, we think back a couple weeks to Texas Motor Speedway with the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. That was a racetrack we thought would race horribly. It actually raced really well. So far it's been competitive, but how much of this, Connor, is drivers unable to get an advantage, and how much of this is really true racing?
I think a lot of it is true racing, because track position with this package means so much. You have to be at the front to have a chance. You can't restart 15th and have a chance at the win. You have to start in the top 5 and beat that track position.
Oh!
The run almost 3 wide to 33. Where does Stravato come from trying to go for that 5th position?
Yeah, he really wanted the bottom on Zach Halpern, but Halpern almost turned himself into the pit wall to try to hold off the 33. He's won that battle for now, but can he win the war tonight? There's still a long way to go. Only 15 laps into this race, and we're already getting handsy on quarter panels. This is going to be a long night if they start tearing them up.
We got a lap car in front of a leader, Zach Floyd in the 42, who is in right now by, I believe, 29 points. He's just letting everyone go. Might be coming to pit road. He has some right front damage. Might be calling it a day early.
Jeff Wright from first now to 6th. He is struggling now. You mentioned the tires, Connor. Already looks like that's hurting him here as he drops back into the clutches of Jeremy Miller and Ryan Carwile. Now look at the 26 in the bottom of Calusa. Calusa's having the same issue as the Toyota Camry of the Halpern car. Comes up 3 wide. Here comes Stravato up the bottom.
We saw Stravato leading that second line. Going to get into Halpern almost contact. That was close. Almost 3 wide in the background. Here comes Carwile under Wright and Miller. The 48 almost gets turned into the apron.
He gets turned and jumps over a grate and rejoins the racetrack. What happened? He just got loose, drove through the grass, did a little bunny hop, and here he is battling for 7th still. That was pretty crazy. I thought it was supposed to be passing the grass.
He's going to go 3 wide again.
Oh, man. I thought
he's going 3 wide again. Sorry.
We're so excited, Connor.
I understand. I said the apron instead of the AstroTurf. That 48 is struggling. Look how much speed he's losing out of the corner, especially. He cannot get to the bottom, can't catch a break. When he got to the bottom, I think he got a bump from Carwile. That's what sent him into an AstroTurf. For some reason, he took the AstroTurf twice, but he is really struggling. He shows he's almost outside the top 10.
Yeah, he was wiggling and wobbling. He got it under control, then had to drive through the turf to avoid pushing the car back on track. Big moment there. They're 3 wide again for a moment as here comes Tim Downey Jr. up the middle and bringing Clifton Cockrell with him as we go back to 3rd place. Look at big push for Stravato with Halpern on the outside.
And we're showing which line is good for tire saving. You see Jeff Wright's back to 13th all of a sudden after that whole deal there. Adam Cabot, who was battling with him on the bottom, still comfortably in the lead. Brandon Bowers in check. Dan Halpern third. Stravato, who is with that, leading that second pack, saving his tires all the way up to 4th as Bryce Calusa hits the apron a little bit as they're side by side for 6th.
That is Jeremy Miller and Ryan Carwile. These guys have been nose to tail for a little while now. Caleb Weekly. Oh, pace crash on the back straightaway. The 10 car hard in the wall at the exit of turn 2. Eddie Trejo bails for the apron to try to miss it. Caution is out at lap number 19.
That was out of nowhere. They're racing at the back, pretty much outside the top 20. I think Matt Wagner was involved as well.
He just caught it a little early, but he was already sideways. Wagner, that's where it was really 2 incidents in 1. That's a big hit for Weekly. Let's go back a little farther. He got into the wall going into turn 1 here, Connor, and then the car just steps out.
Yeah, that's how loose it is. Once it gets loose, it's really hard to save it. He's just trying to catch it, hits the apron there. It's going to shoot him back, going to shoot him loose again, also shoot him back up the track. Wagner goes up to the wall to miss him, but he hits the wall and it bounces him back into Weekly, and then it's going to be a big hit. You do not want to watch this.
Oh, man, that is a gnarly impact right on the corner of that safer barrier and right up in front of Eddie Trejo. Good save there for Trejo to bail down to the inside. Here is what it looked like on board Weekly's car. Almost had it collected. just where Wagner was in relation, just it was wrong place, wrong time for both of them.
Yeah, the Weekly had it saved after all that, but Wagner had to take such evasive action to get by all that he really had nowhere to go, and he lost control himself there. It's a good job by Trejo to get through all that, and yellow flag pit stops finally underway, and I think the only one who wants this is Jeff Wright.
Yeah, Jeff Wright really needed to come get tires, and he has done so. There he goes into the box, as a 77, 31, 20, and 30 are all going to take tires and fuel at this point. 21 laps into our 140-lap race, and race off pit lane. Going to be a real tight 3 wide behind the 77. Cabot wins the race off pit road. Then it's Brandon Bowers in the 31. Then Halpern in the 26. Travado in the 33. Then Calusa, Carwile, Miller, and Bailey Turner cracks into the top 10. He started in 10th, and he has gone, well, nowhere. Rolls off 10th.
Yeah, we didn't really see a lot of movement outside really the top 5. You saw side-by-side racing up at the front, but pretty much everyone else got single file quickly. Everyone kind of stayed in check, and then we started to see the tires wear. Some people saved them, some people didn't. You saw Jeff Wright go battling from the lead to almost outside the top 15 altogether. The 33 Travado, best driver, arguably the best driver in the series all season. He was able to almost get up to a battle for the lead, and now we're kind of back to square one.
Casey Lakatos rolled through pit road, and he's going to come around and lead a lap, would be my assumption, and Joshua Banks might do the same thing. Looks like Banks is going to peel off and hit pit lane. Lakatos going to choose otherwise. We had 4 drivers not start this race. That was Robert Gaba, RJ Root, Eric Hutton, and I'll make 3. So Gaba, Root, Eric Hutton. Caleb Weekly is out of the race officially. Zach Floyd is 4 laps down, would like to get some back.
I don't know what exactly happened off the pit road, but Jeremy Miller got an EOL penalty, so he's going all the way back to the rear, which he's still comfortable on points, but that's not where you want to be in the thick of all that.
No, he's going to be behind everybody. But to the point, though, is that we didn't see a lot of side-by-side racing beyond really the top 3 or 4. So maybe that's a safer place to be right now. You know, that's where the crash happened, but you never know. I don't know. I'm not sure I like racing up at the front because it's getting pretty dicey and slicey up there.
Yeah, we did see, it's really up at the front that we saw that crazy race, but at the same time, that wreck did happen pretty much at the very border of the top 20, and he's going to be on the outside of all that. It's going to have Joshua Banks around him. I believe Jeff Wright's on pit road now fixing something. I don't think he has damage, just kind of chilling out right there. So it's really treacherous when you get back there because he's got a lot of drivers who are really struggling for grip back there, and he's going to really have to bide his time if he doesn't want to get caught up in some sort of incident.
Ryan Carwile is going to slip backwards. It looks like he'll be heading to the rear of the field as well.
Also got an EOL penalty.
Be driving through too many pit boxes potentially. That could be likely. As we roll through to complete lap number 22. We should get the 1 to green this time by.
And here comes Lakatos, going to get his tires and start at the rear with those other drivers.
Drivers peeling off in the background as well. So we'll get our first restart of the night. We talked about lane choice. Connor, which lane do you pick for the initial start here?
I'd still want to be on the inside. You do not want to be caught on that outside. I think we, even 15 laps into a run, I think we saw it was clear that you do not want to be on that outside line. Jeff Wright was up there for 10 laps, and then he dropped like a rock. You want to be on the bottom as much as possible.
So Brandon Bowers will line up on the outside of the front row. The 33 of Travado will be behind him. Then Bailey Turner, after we had everybody cycle on through, he's actually going to restart in 6th. This is the driver I'd be watching, Connor. It is a driver that didn't start with a great season. The first couple rounds were kind of a mess, but he has really picked it up. Won a handful of races, and he is a threat, I think, tonight. So he's going to roll off 6th, 3 rows back from the top spot. And I'd keep an eye on him. Maybe not right now, but maybe at lap 130, I'd be watching out for this 24.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a threat. He's definitely a threat for the championship altogether. We've seen the 48 and the 33. They've been up there a lot of the time. But Bailey Turner, like you said, really came on strong at the very end of this regular season. Got 2 wins this season. Broke a long winless streak a few weeks ago, and he just got his 2nd win of the season last week at Phoenix. He's definitely on a hot streak, and he's looking to carry that momentum into these playoffs.
Well, coming back to the restart here as we roll on through to complete lap number 23. Pace car is going to peel off. Still a long way to go here from Charlotte, the regular season finale. Top 12 will move on to the chase. Green flag back in the air. Good restart for Cabot. Slow one for Halpern as we come back to the green. A couple people got caught sleeping.
Yeah, Alpern had nowhere to go, really checked out that inside line. Bowers and Travado almost contact there. I think Travado wanted to get under the 31, bit of contact there, but those two were able to get in front of Alpern. And Alpern, he gained some spots there on that green flag pit stops, but he's going to lose him again. I think the 15 wants to go 3 wide, thinks better of it.
Bryce Calusa's got the 15 of Alex Bell tucked in behind him. They're both following the 26 of Halper. Oh, the 33! Sideways, he's going to try to save it. Wow!
Oh, look at the checkup on the bottom. Downey Jr. and Alex Bell got checked up behind him. What an amazing save. I can't believe he held on to that.
I'd love to go back and watch it, but there's too much going on. Look at the 6 car to the outside lane. That's a little tight, and that's actually not the 6. Is that Austin Carpe in the 5?
Austin Carpe, the 5.
Yes, that's a 5 car, not a 6 car. Gonna get shoved up the racetrack.
Bell kind of pushes him up. Yep, shoved him up the track a little bit. Don't want to be up there. Nothing up there. Matthew Close, Joshua Banks also there trying to battle each other. That really got all the people who were at the front spread out. Those top 2, Cabot and Bowers, are pretty much gone.
Jeff Wright all the way back in 20th place now after initially leading some laps early in this race. Cabot leads by 1/10 of a second over Bowers, who's chasing him down. Still side by side with Bell now to the inside of the 92 and Close into turn 3.
Really nice up here. Alpern's in 3rd. He got some damage after the 33 slid there. I don't think it's very serious, but all the action's in the mid-pack right now, battling for about the 11th position. Look at the 36, wants to get under Downey, but Downey not giving it to him.
Drive up the inside, move Downey into 10th spot. Up at the front, though, Cabot maintains a 1.5 of a second lead.
Turner way sideways out of 2 there.
Turner battling for 14th place. He's gathered it back up, tucks in behind Jeremy Miller.
That's what I was talking about. You don't really want him to be back there because stuff like that could potentially happen. That's got Miller. Luckily, Miller wasn't far up in the pack enough to be involved in that huge stack up like the 15 was, but he's probably not very, he's not very open to the fact that he has to go buy a bunch of these cars now.
A big shove up the racetrack for Matthew Close. I think he might have gotten a little bit of net code off the 36. That pushed him straight up the racetrack. Look at Tim Downey Jr. aggressive on the bottom of the 5 car of Austin Carpe into turn 3. He wants that 10th spot back. He's going to get it.
You can see him going to his left rear almost exclusively, trying to get the side draft from that 5, and he was able to work. He was able to almost pretty much clear him already before he even got to turn 4, trying to climb his way closer up into that battle, maybe for the lead. Way sideways, big check for the 15 into turn 1.
Bit of smoke out in front. Look at this. Going to go 3 wide again. The 92 to the bottom. The 36 throws the block.
Those are supposed to be teammates, but I don't see a lot of team play going on there. It's 92 up the track into Ben Laughter. Just about able to save it there.
Really elbows out racing here at Charlotte. The first run, the battle was all up front. Now it's mid-pack. 25 and 36, still side by side. Matthew Close on the bottom of Ben Laughter, as you mentioned. And Laughter's going to clear the 92. Now the 25 and 36 stay side by side down the backstretch.
Downey got the good run out of 2. He wasn't able to clear. Look at how far Banks sends it into turn 1. Maybe it was just Bell just really trying to conserve his stuff in front of this pack that caused that first check up into turn 1. Bell's trying to save his tires, and everyone else is really sending it into these corners. 9th on back. This is a melee for this spot.
36, 25 still remain door to door. The 25 is going to cut down the racetrack. 36 dives for the apron to sort of miss him. And while you mentioned there's a melee here, I don't want to pull the attention away from the front because Bowers is on the 77, but backs out. Let's go back to that scramble for 10th.
It really 7th. The top 7 are pretty much gone. AJ Travado still leading, is actually sort of leading this pack.
Oh, behind him!
Nope, inside. He's able to save it. Nope, here he comes back up the track. Be careful. I think he's going to save it, but he lost all that track position.
Oh, man, it's a big shame for Jeremy Miller. Let's have a look. As they came through turn 4, he's going to get a body slam by the 64 of Laughter. Great job. Wow, look at that thing going for a ride.
Matthew Close into the inside wall hard.
Caution is out. 92 car, Matthew Close.
I don't know what happened there. The 92 all of a sudden came up the track and he made contact with Ben Laughter. I wouldn't say that's intentional, but I don't know what went on there.
I already saw the tail end of it. Here he goes down underneath the 64 car. And the 64, does he turn left or does he get hit? Oh, the 92 actually drives up into him. And they're going to get hooked together. And Ben Laughter does a great job keeping his car straight as the 92 gets the barrier.
don't know what that was about there. I think maybe the 92 thought Laughter was closer up to the outside wall, so he wanted to get close enough to maybe side draft there. 64 just had contact with the 30. He just kind of drives up into him.
Oh, big hit there for the 92.
Side.
We'll go back a little bit farther and see if we can catch lead up to this. He's going to cross him over here, turn down to the bottom. I wonder if he thinks he was going to clear him. No,
He wasn't even close. I really think he thought the 64 was going to be close to the outside wall. If we could get an angle, maybe straight looking at them, because I think Close probably thought he was going to be close to the outside wall, and he expected that room to move up, and he didn't exactly have it.
Yeah, he was about a car width off of it, so that might have been what hurt the 92, but that'll probably be night over for Matthew Close. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be back for the restart here in just a moment from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Our second caution of the day for Matthew Close, crashed and around at the back straight.
It seems like everyone wants to reminisce about yesterday, wearing rose-tinted glasses. People like to read about history, remember the good old days of dangerous runoff and medium speed sweepers. But history books don't get written by reading them. So in 2012, a brand new Grand Prix circuit was constructed as part of the next chapter of American motorsports. 890 acres of undeveloped land outside of Austin was constructed into a state-of-the-art racing venue, Circuit of the Americas. It's a big name, and it has to be. This place hosts Formula One, and Formula One has a different approach to using the word historic. They don't use it to describe something old. Oh no. Formula One doesn't do the past. They do the future. They look ahead. Toka built this place to be more than a racetrack. It's a multi-million-dollar entertainment facility, built purposefully with computer-aided design. The layout is a world-class thrill, if you're talented enough to learn it. It's not easy, threading through the S's, coaxing your car through the arena section, and finding every blind apex. It's a challenge unlike anything else in America. And shouldn't it be hard? Shouldn't it be tricky? They're not supposed to give everyone a trophy. If you want to be remembered, fine. Go out there and prove yourself. Finding space on the page to write your name in Speed City's history book? Now that's exclusive real estate. Welcome to COTA, gentlemen. Enjoy the ride.
Back live for the Outsider Racing League regular season finale, coming to a close of our second caution as they re-rack and restack here. Adam Cabot, Brandon Bowers, Bailey Turner, Zach Halpern, Jonathan Hernandez, the top five. Looks like the caution has gone back to caution status. I thought we were 1 to green. Joshua Banks in 10th. The 48 car of Jeff Wright is all the way back in 15th place after leading some laps early in the going, Connor. He is not really as high running as I would have expected him to be.
The pace car is going to take that left. I don't know what happened. He's stuck back there and can't get back up to the front, but meanwhile, we are going green.
Sorry about that. I was on a replay. That's why everything was desynced. As we're back green here, Adam Cabot goes back out in front. Brandon Bowers, Bailey Turner going to run side by side into turn 1. Calusa and Hernandez in the 1 car running a bright red and black car today. There he is in 6th.
Be careful here. We saw the 33 Stravado turn 4 on the first lap on new tires. Got sideways, almost caused a big wreck. We'll see if anyone makes the same mistake this time. Look at Calusa diving to the bottom.
Oh, that's a little dicey. The 24 is going to open up the inside for Halpern. Halpern will put that Camry's nose up the inside. The 24 tried to defend. Oh, grabs the turf on the left. Does that 26 car of Halpern. He's going to try to go by for 3rd, but Turner's going to race him off into turn 1. Here's Casey Lacatas, AJ Stravado going to drive back through after Stravado's big moment a little while ago. Big smoke cloud as they come out of turn 2.
Stravado, I believe, is one of the first cars on new tires. A lot of the guys who didn't pit on that last yellow have 3 sets left. Stravado and others have 2 sets left. So we'll see, even with the damage he might have from getting a bumper from Halpern because of his slide, we'll see if he can get back up to the front.
Into turn 1 at 185 miles an hour. The 77 leads the way. He's been the dominant force so far. Not a factor in the playoffs as they chase each other down the backstretch, sort of weaving like Indy cars. Now the 15 pops out of line on the 1 Hernandez. He wants to go by for 5th.
Seeing a lot of people dive to the bottom into turn 3 and they just slide right up. I saw Calusa do it on the restart. Now the 15 did the same thing. Seems like he can't get to the bottom that effectively right now. So 31 just shoving Cabot into turn number 1.
I mentioned that Charlotte, in many ways, races like a plate race more than it does an intermediate after this introduction of the new, no longer new package. But now they're side by side. The 31 gets a great run down the backstretch. He wants to lead into turn 3, and they're going to run neck and neck into it.
Cabot's smart. He doesn't race him that hard. We saw how far back Jeff Wright dropped back because he was on that top lane. We'll see if Cabot can maybe fend back. Look at Halpern looking 3 wide. Cabot's got to be careful. He doesn't wear his tires out too much. Yeah,
the 26 gave a shot to the 31 in the middle of the front straightaway. He was ready to rock, but didn't think that there was room to go. So they're going to run door-to-door off the corner. Halpern's going to size him up and might try to go by both of them. He looks aggressive. He might go for a 3-wide pass.
He hasn't won in a long time. I'm trying to look at the number off the top of my head because I have it up here. Since he won at Homestead a few seasons ago, it's been about 30-something races as they're still side-by-side battling each other. And it's really getting intense. 44 races to be exact since Halpern's got the point, so he is hungry.
It's a long time, and he can see the lead right in front of him. We're under 100 laps to go. Running down the back straightaway. Sweeps to the right. 31 and 77. They're getting pretty close off of turn 4. The 31 drifts there. They've almost made contact the last 2 laps.
The 31's kind of struggling going up out of the corner. He's trying to keep it down to not hit the 77, but he's really losing a lot of time out of the corner. But that push from the 26 is really helping Bowers stay in check with the 77. Wearing his tires out and battling for the lead at the same time.
Coming up off the corner. Bowers is losing this fight. There's the 48. Where'd he come from?
Yeah, with the run he's got as well. Maybe he's on the tires as well. Way faster down the straightaway than anyone else. He's all over the back bumper of Halpern all of a sudden as the 77's just barely going to clear Bowers again.
Yeah, the 48 is here and ready to play. He's got that thing in party mode. 26 throws the block to 48, goes to the bottom for 3rd.
I'm thinking the same thing when he was coming up on the outside with that sort of helicopter shot. How did he get that run? He was flying down the backstretch.
He built it up, and he's going to go for it again down the backstretch. Going to look for 3rd, now look for 2nd on Bowers as they enter turn number 3. He is coming with a vengeance. The 33 car of Stravado was ahead of the 48 a little while ago. Now he's 8th, and the 48 car is 3rd. So Jeff Wright has just had an unbelievable last 2 laps.
How much track position matters. If you're able to get back up there, you can stay up there for a while. I think Wright knows how to use his tires better this time by. I think he knows that was a mistake battling his teammate Cabot on the outside like that. I think he'll be ready to try to battle him a little bit different this time.
Oh, behind them, Alex Bell is on the outside of Bailey Turner. Jonathan Hernandez is way up in the parking lot in turns 3 and 4. Here comes Ryan Carwile back after his penalty earlier. Now for 3rd place, Bowers and Halpern. Halpern goes driver's right. And going to try to carry some momentum.
Man, look at right. He just flew by Capit on the outside. That wasn't even a contest.
He's making it look easy right now. Down the back straightaway, Jeff Wright goes back to the lead. And he's lit the afterburners right now.
His tires hold up. I think he's on newer tires. I hope they hold up because he is going to get a huge lead if he can get out of that draft range from Cabot, Bowers, and all the others. Travado trying to make his way back up, trying to chase down that 48. If he gets away, it's game over. We've seen it before.
Field rockets into turn number 1 now at the exit of the corner. Jeff Wright very quickly driving away, last lap by. How about a 29.953 to a 30.4 now for third place. Bowers trying to defend from Halpern. He won't be able to do it.
He wanted to get down in front of Travado, but if he made that move, he was going to get turned. Smart move to just back out of that and give the 33 the positioning. Here comes Travado, finally got ahead of steam.
To the bottom of the racetrack for turn 1. Gonna pull even, up the racetrack just a touch. Gets it back down to the blue line, then throttles up. Drag race down the backstretch.
See those top two starting to pull away now. The drivers are side by side for that third position. Nothing really that Halpern can battle with. So Travado back up to the third position. I believe it's the highest he's been all race. Other than maybe that first restart, excuse me, as he's gonna try to chase down his two teammates.
Lots of comers and goers right now in the early moments of this race. Got about 46 minutes remaining. This is going to go by very quickly. If we stay green from here on out, we've had 2 cautions slowing the progress so far. In the background, you see Ryan Carwile having a look at Clifton Cockrell. They're going to drive off into 3 side by side. Cockrell's going to lift and let Carwile go.
I don't think Cockrell really he's probably not really racing like he has a chance for the playoffs. He's out here to have a good time. He's had a good time. He's had some decent runs here. They're really good on the road courses. He got Sonoma coming up, I believe, so he might be a threat there. He's definitely one of those more underrated drivers, just trying to stay in the top 10 right now.
He absolutely will be a threat at Sonoma, but so will Jeff Wright, and that's a big factor for me, is if you let Jeff Wright get ahead in this championship, it's going to be really hard to take him down. If he does at Sonoma what he did the last couple times we've been there, he is so good at that particular racetrack. I don't think anyone can beat him right now on the schedule. Maybe Adam Cabot, but we no longer have a couple of other road course ringers that used to pop in now and then. I know an IMSA driver that may or may not want to participate in that race as well, so that could throw a hat in the ring as well.
Well, Zach Carr's good at road courses. Maybe he could come back. I don't even know if part-time drivers are allowed in the chase. But either way, there's a lot of talented drivers at road courses that pop in here and there. But even then, you got the regular Jeff Wright who's able to just dominate when he wants at road courses.
He's dominating right now on the oval. He's out 0.8 of a second. 50 laps into this one. 90 laps to go, make it 89 as they come across the line. Now Halpern's starting to slip as Bowers has re-caught him.
Alex Bell there finally getting his way up to the front a little bit. Up to 6th position right now. He's kind of caught Bowers and Halpern. Halpern up to 4th. 15 kind of loses the nose there a little bit. He's going to fall back into the clutches of Bailey Turner.
A big arrow push there, I think, for the 15. Didn't really plan it out. See, if you see the 31, how he offsets from the 26, you can get a little bit of air on the nose. Doing what the 15 car is doing, not likely you're going to be able to get air. But if you're just basically following someone off into the corner, you're going to push and struggle with the mid-corner speed. If you can turn in before them and get some air on the nose before you get to the corner, you'll be better off.
Carwell's trying to do that. Not Carwell. Calusa's trying to do that right now. But Bailey Turner's got a firm grip on that blue line right now. Doesn't really let Calusa gain much, but that slipstream down the backstretch is going to get Calusa closer up to the rear bumper at the 24. Look at that big spoiler, that big white spoiler that Turner's pretty much known for with that White Claw scheme. See, he kind of missed the bottom there, Calusa did, not really able to pounce on him.
Lap 54 of 140. Into turn 1, 0.7 of a second. Stravato was a little quicker than the 48 last time by about 100th of a second. Another battle going on is behind Casey Licata, Eddie Trejo, Steve Turner. Bit of a big slide at exit, and here comes the 46, bottom 3 wide, backs out of it.
The 46 backed out of all of that. Going to give Jeremy Miller that 15th position, I believe. No, his 16th position. Miller has that damage is really hurting him because he looked faster earlier on. He's not able to keep up right now. He's carting the wall at a 4. Austin Carpe really struggling with that car.
Well, he pancaked it pretty hard. You see the damage on the right side of that car, pretty flattened out now. Will hurt him just a touch. AJ Stravato is running down Jeff Wright, and we'll have to keep an eye on this lead as it is now dwindling under half a second.
Wondering if you see how fast he got back to the lead. He was able to power around the outside of Cabot. Wondering if he might have wore those tires out. Ooh, I'm sorry. I think Bowers get the wall there. I think he did. He hit it pretty good.
So turn one. Oh yeah, he definitely flattened that right side up just a little bit.
Oh boy.
You see also the right cowl is out of place. That's a classic determinator for if he's been in the fence or not. It's like he'll carry some speed still. I don't know if it'll hurt him that much, but it seems like it's like Darlington, Connor. You hit the wall once and you just can't get off of it. You start hitting it more times after that. Austin Carpe is in pit lane fixing some of that damage.
Might be calling it a day, who knows. Turn 4 has really been always the trouble spot here in Charlotte. It jumps out of you. That safer barrier kind of sticks out, and the exit of 4 is just very, very abrupt. You can really be caught by surprise if you hit the wall like that, as Carpe has disconnected. He's called it a day, but turn 4 wall jumps out at you when you least expect it, and that's what it did to Bowers there. You can see how much that damage, not much damage, but you see how much that damage is really hurting him. He's going back to 7th now.
Bailey Turner is going to try to go by Brandon Bowers for 6. He does it. Bowers, big push out of turn 4. He might have caught the wall again.
I believe he did. I don't think it was that big of a hit. I think he brushed it, if anything, but that car is pretty much gone. The right front destroyed as much as it can be. It's not going to turn well anymore.
Working our way pretty deep into a green flag run now, and the field getting more separated, and I like this. I like that we're going to get to see some tire wear play into a long-term strategy here. Caution,
Yellow.
As I say that, commentator curse.
Corey Steinhauser, he's wrecked in the second dog leg on the apron. Not sure what happened there.
A weird spot to crash.
Got some right front damage. Might have hit the wall somewhere and spun out from there.
Go back and investigate. Let's have a look. Well, coming out of turn 4, just gets loose. Pancakes the wall. Starts chasing the car.
Oh, barely avoids Matthew Close. I think he overcorrected because he didn't want to hit Close there. Odd spot the wreck there. He just lost the car and couldn't catch it. Spins out into the AstroTurf right there.
Sort of a low or a slow, lazy spin. Catching
Zach Floyd. I really think he overcorrected. He didn't want to ruin Close's day any more than it's already been ruined. Also, Matt Wagner barely avoiding as well.
Here
come the leaders.
Yep, right on through smoke zone. Caution out lap 59. I think we'll see everybody hit pit lane here, Connor, for tires and fuel. Are you worried about the tire limit here maybe a bit?
For a few, yes. Jeff Wright, AJ Travado. I think after this, they're only going to have one set left. I wish there was an easier way to keep track of that. I believe they're only going to have one fresh set left to use. Guys like Cabot, Halpern, Alex Bell, Bailey Turner, those guys I believe they have 2 sets after this. So if we get more yellows like that in the middle of a long run, I think that might become trouble.
Well, good news for you is I think, and I have to check this, I think that tire sets is now a data binding in my overlay software. So the next iteration of that coming in 2021 should be able to track tire set usage, and also tire compound usage, which will be relevant for some open wheel stuff. So that's really cool. Jeff Wright wins race off pit lane. Travado, Cabot, Bell, Halpern, the ones that follow.
Let's see. Then we got Calusa, Turner, Carwell, Downey Jr. I believe is 9th, and then Jonathan Hernandez, who's had a decent run so far in 10th. What's really going to come into play here is everyone's going to have fresh tires now. We're going to restart with about 7 to 8 laps away from halfway. And those halfway points still mean something, so we might see some crazy racing here for a little bit.
Corey Steinhauser sitting behind the pace car will need to get a wave around here shortly. Lost a handful of cars so far. Austin Carpe out with damage. Matthew Close out with damage. And Caleb Weekly crashed out. Matt Wagner, who's involved in that first issue of the night, he is still rolling, yet with some parts and pieces missing. In terms of Dash for Cash, there were supposed to be 5 drivers eligible. I think we only have 3 of them here and only 2 actually with the green numbers on their car. That's assuming that the 21 at Trejo remembered. He did not. So the only car eligible is the 18 of Matt Wagner. Yep.
Josiah Vincent was in it. He didn't show up. Robert Gaba joined the session, but he did not race. And obviously Trejo didn't put the numbers on, and Banks also didn't put the numbers on. So yeah, Wagner's the only one with a shot here, and he's gonna need to have a lot of work to do. He's probably gonna need a little bit of luck to do that.
As they're running right now, it's not really going to make a difference whether they have the numbers colored or not. That hasn't been a spectacular night for anybody that was entered in the Dash for Cash. So we're nearing the halfway point, about 10 laps. Who is your favorite so far? I think you have to squarely put it on the trio of Chevrolets, Jeff Wright, AJ Stravado, Adam Cabot, but does our winner come from someone that's not in that list I just mentioned?
My pick right now is Cabot, but really anything can happen. The tire sets are dwindling down. Everyone pretty much has 1 to 2 sets left, as Miller stayed out so far. I wonder if that's the safest set, not quite sure, but tire sets are dwindling. If you get more yellows like that in the middle of a run, it's going to become trouble. Really, if you get any sort of yellow to the end here, if we don't have a green flag run, Stravado and Wright are sort of in trouble, and I'm worried about them, to be honest. I think Bell has a shot. Halpern's hungry for a win. Bryce Calusa needs his first one on an oval. Bailey Turner's on a hot streak right now. I still think it's anyone's game.
Oh, some faking onto pit lane. No one bites, it looks like. While we get re-racked and restacked here as the lights turn off on the pace car for the restart. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 Eastern, the SRO America Esports FCP Euro Championship heads to Monza for the next round in the championship. It'll be myself and Orion Marine covering an hour of GT3 and GT4 racing action from one of the fastest racetracks in Europe at Monza in Italy. It's the super speedway of road courses over there. Ours is Watkins Glen, theirs is Monza, and we'll join it tomorrow at 3 Eastern, 2 Central on GT World's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe there if you have not. Then on Monday night, 3 Wide Racing League returns for their penultimate race of the season at Phoenix. Tuesday, the FCP Euro Tour for Grid Life heads to Alton Park for Volkswagen Beetle GRC cars. And then Wednesday will be the return of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. They'll be heading to, I don't know where they're going, actually. Let's have a look at my schedule. They are going to be heading to Monza as well, followed by Scars Ferrari Challenge heading to Road America on Thursday. We'll be back here next week for Talladega on Saturday night. So lots coming up on SimTV this week. 63 laps in to our 140 laps. We're going to be 8 laps from halfway. Jeff Wright, AJ Stravado, your race leaders. Pace car is going to peel off. We'll go again after our 3rd caution of the night at Charlotte. Green flag back in the air, racing once more in the Outsider Racing League.
I know this is unrelated, but I did get confirmation that those EOLs on the 30 and 71 earlier were for too many stalls exiting, so cleared that up. But meanwhile, that restart was not good for the 33, was not able to keep up with Jeff Wright, and that puts Cabot back on the attack.
He did slot in to the bottom of the racetrack. Bell's going to chase him down there and now swing to the right. Halpern going to fill in the hole in the bottom.
Yeah, we see 8 laps to go till those halfway points get put in. Brandon Bowers is all the way at the back, trying to get back up there. It is going to be a mad dash to the finish for this lap 70 finish here.
15:26, off into turn 1. Calusa watching as he has done so much tonight. Oh, big slide for him in the middle of 1 and 2. Going to check him up.
He hit the apron a little bit. You do not want to hit the apron. Look at Bailey Turner trying to get up to the top 5. Almost contact down the back straightaway. Calusa didn't give him that room. Didn't like that move. Carwell, a big dive to the bottom behind them.
Oh, getting really spicy in 3 and 4. Bailey Turner almost doored the 20 as they headed down the back straightaway for the top spot. Here comes Cabot on the race lead.
I don't think there's going to be beating a bang between these two, but you never know. We've seen it between teammates before as those two are right next to each other. Stravado just kind of let him go, and Halpern trying to find somewhere to go here as he's sitting here in 4th as Alex Bell fends off everyone else, 5th on back.
Through 3 and 4. 5 laps to halfway this time through, and Cabot wants some of those points. I don't know if he wants points, he just wants the win. He might get himself out front because that'll help do it, though. Off into turn 1, look at the 20 and 24, nose to tail. Turner with a big run, he's going to see the hole open, there he goes to the bottom.
Oh boy, now is Bell blocking that bottom line, trying to block Calusa and Bailey Turner blocking 2 lines at once. That certainly can't work, but he's going to be able to do it. Just chops the nose of the 24 there.
Alpert has a look up the outside of AJ Stravado.
Bell,
big slide for Bell. Here comes the leader. Wow, what great racing at the front of the field. Wright and Cabot scrapping for it. Bailey Turner and Calusa behind him. They're not happy with each other from what I can tell. They're getting really racy.
Cabot went into the AstroTurf there in that first dogleg to get back under his teammate. in the 48. Wright's just going to let him have it there.
Yeah, that's a concession argument. All right, you can have it. It's yours. If you want it that bad, go for it.
Yeah, if you're going off track to do that, then be my guest. Here comes Halpern, big run for that third position off of Stravado. Bell's going to have a run at him as well on the bottom. As Bailey Turner did get by Calusa, Carwell following him through. As the 77 going to slip up out of 4 a little bit. Does the 48 want it back?
He's going to stay on the pavement this time on the black stuff. Now they're going to head off into turn 1. Bit of a push, bit of a shove. 24 in the background. He's out of line on the bottom of the 33. He's going to go through and take 5th spot away.
I saw Bell go into the AstroTurf that time, but I think he saw the 77 do it. I think I might as well try it. It doesn't technically count as cutting the course. Here comes the 48 back.
Hole's going to open. Halpern wants to slot in there before the door shuts, and he will move Halpern to second if he can complete this pass, but he's slipping and sliding.
These are big points if he wants to get more solidified. He's probably already locked in mathematically. He's going to go for the lead. He's going to almost hit the 48 there. He's going to slide up right in front of Adam Cabot and get that second position and let Jeff Wright get away from the lead.
Going to hold up to 77. Alex Bell goes to the bottom. Going to be 3 wide. Now Bell slides back to the right.
That was very aggressive. Halpern almost caused a big wreck up there at the front. Cabot trying to keep those two teammates. Cabot sliding up, almost contact with Halpern there as Jeff Wright's easily going to take the most stage points.
15 clips the grass, looks at the inside of Cabot. Cabot slams the door shut in the second dog leg. And now the Chevrolet's broken up by a pair of Toyotas, and the Ford Mustang of Ryan Carwile, he's broken into the top 10, now running in 6th. Jeff Wright gets the lead, and he's starting to drive away. I have not seen anybody be able to drive away like Wright has. We see the 24 pop out of line for a second. He looked for 4th.
Well, at the end of that run before that last yellow, we saw Stravado, who kind of took his time getting through the field on those newer tires. We saw him start to kind of eat into that lead that Jeff Wright had, so he might be wearing his tires out too much. I think you'd rather stay right in front of Cabot, just save your tires without losing lead, but at the same time, with Cabot going into the AstroTurf to make passes, you probably don't want him right on your level.
Past halfway now, lap 72. Wright leads by 1/10.5 over Adam Cabot, who drives in hard. He's going to slip up the racetrack. That'll give Bell a decent run here on the front straight.
So it's not going to be able to really get up to him here as those two start. Really just the 48 tried to pull away, 77 pulling him back now. It's pretty much an even spread in this lead pack that I would say is about 11 to 12 cars, maybe 10 cars of Bowers kind of holding the end of that lead line.
Now we're single file, but is this the calm before more storm? 33 minutes of racing remaining. It's 10:57 on the East Coast. 9:57 here in Chicago as Bailey Turner and Ryan Carwile, there's stacked nose and tail, bring in the 33. See that purple car poking out on the bottom. He wants a look, has to back out. No hold to dive for, though.
Carwile's been all over Turner's bumper for the last 3 laps, so I'm surprised he hasn't hit him yet, sliding up out of the corners. Just pretty much everything but hitting him is going to swoop low here. Turner's not going to let him have it that easy.
Whoa, that got really close. He almost right hooked him into the fence in turn 3. That would have been a spectacular crash. Now he's going to look up the inside out of 4.
He's able to get that run. He was able to do the over-under. Chavado's going to try to push him under Bailey Turner. 33 trying to get that track position back. Carwell finally has the positioning for this 5th position.
And Tim Downey Jr. has broken the top 10. This is the first time those teammates have been together up in the front this late in a race for a long time. So maybe Tim Downey Jr., a past champion of the series, can throw a hat in the ring. 71 clears the 24.
Bailey Turner's going to slide up the track. Stravado trying to get under him, can't do it. I don't think the last person Turner wants to see in his mirror is probably Tim Downey Jr. The last time they were at 1.5 miles at Chicagoland, they had some differences there, had some fireworks after the race, but you really don't want them side by side because that could be where the wreck happens if those two get together again.
Look at Adam Cabot. Right on the back of the 48 down the backstretch. He's ready to play again. Has a look.
Here we go. Is the 48 going to let him by, though? He wore his tires out so badly battling on the top, I'd say don't do it again. Either let him by or try to stay in front of him on the bottom, but it seems like he's not going to give it up easily.
Cross the line. Too close to call that time through. 77-48. Alex Bell watching from 3rd. Bell's performances lately really increased, and he's running a lot better. And with these two running side by side, that's only going to help the 15 Toyota.
It's been 61 races since Bell's been to victory lane. That was at Talladega. Almost looked 3 wide there. Things better of it. Halpern did the same thing earlier. Halpern eating the damage, sticking in there. Carwile all of a sudden in the mix as his teammates stay side by side. Oh, car in the wall. Joshua Banks at a turn 4 in the wall.
He hit it pretty hard. You see him slow. come across the line. Adam Cabot and Wright continue to battle. The 15 sees the hole open on the bottom. Going to try to sneak that diecast dude Camry up the inside. He will do so. Now drag race the most laps led leader down the back straightaway. And Jeff Wright tucks back in, almost a touch into 3.
I think he did hit him, but I don't think it really affected the 77. Bell really paid the price for that move. He's almost going to get past here for that 3rd position. Halpern looked low, couldn't do it. Travado looking low for the 6th position on Bailey Turner. He's going to get under there in the 1.
Halpern. Door opens, the 15 tries to slam it shut, they touch.
Man, that was insanely close. Halpern and Bell are going to lose all that track position as the top 2 get away here. Carwile going for the 3rd position.
That was a great opportunity for Carwile to sneak in there. I think the 15 and 26 will have some differences to settle. That was a little dicey. Now bring the 33, 24, and 25 all into the mix, and it's a huge scrap for 3rd place.
Only safe drivers now are Cabot and Wright. They're away from all that. Carwile's up the 3rd. It is a mess here for the 3rd position. Travado's trying to get his way back up to the front. The 26 and the 15 aren't happy with each other now. A lot of dicey moves happening here. By the way, Tim Downey Jr., Bailey Turner right next to each other.
Oh boy, 60 laps to go this time by. Starting to count down the laps here soon. The 15 just did not turn into the corner. He's going to lose 3 spots all in one.
The turn's going to get by. Almost contact there at a 4. Bryce Calusa has the run on him. Will Bell block that? He went from battling potentially for the lead all the way back to the very edge of that top 10. So he's going to have a lot of work to do. He wants that track position back, as pretty much everyone 3rd on back needs to work hard to get to those 2 leaders right here.
They are starting to break away. It's a half a second gap. But the last time by, Carwile was actually the quickest driver in the top 5. And maybe there's some clean air on the nose to help out with that. AJ Travado caught the apron just a little bit. But if you do it just right, Connor, it can help you rotate the car. You get too much of it, you're going to crash.
You gotta take that risk though. That blue line is so valuable to take. If you can have that low entry and exit out of these corners, it makes for a huge run down these straightaways, and that's what he got on Halpern. Especially when Halpern's hitting the apron like he just did, that's gonna give the 33 a huge run to the inside.
Here he comes now. 33 in that Chevrolet to the bottom of the yellow Land O'Lakes. What is that? What does that say? Land O'Lakes? Whoa, big slide. Oh, he's going to crash out of turn 4. He caught it somehow. He's going to lose more spots as the rest of the field drives by.
Almost took out his entire team with Tim Downey Jr. in one fatal swoop there. I don't know where the contact was, but he got loose, and once again, a huge save there to make.
Watch this. This is unbelievable. Watch his hands in this car. Just all the way to the right.
Man.
Great job driving by Zach Halpern to catch that.
If he didn't hit the wall, I thought he was for sure going to hit the wall like Banks did. Speaking of Banks, he got walled by Case Licadas. That's why that happened. But meanwhile, he almost took his teammate out, Tim Downey Jr. Now he's side by side with Bailey Turner.
That is for 5th place. Both these drivers would badly like to get a top 5. And up at the front, Cabot and Wright still nose to tail. Whoa, for the race leaders, all out of control. Here comes the 48.
Huge slide, another save. That shows how out of whack this setup sort of is to a lot of drivers, not what these drivers are accustomed to.
They're driving good. They're driving good, Connor. Here they come. Now another pass for the lead. Here comes the 77 to the bottom.
If you think this is good racing, but it's not good for them, Carlisle's going to be able to catch back up to them. Same with Travado, Bailey Turner, Tim Downey Jr. They got away from everyone else in that pack. They might bring themselves all the way back to these other drivers here. Another slide job happening, another crossover.
This is spectacular stuff here at Charlotte. It's always the tracks now that I would think would be boring, that are the best racing. Think back to Fuel Mission 22 at Texas. That was unbelievable. Came into here, everyone was thinking this would be a caution and a wreck fest. It's been nothing of the sort as they continue to battle. Here comes Carwile into the mix now.
It's got way sideways here. Carwile has a big run on both these drivers, using up the tires a little too early in my opinion. Carwile's up to second now, and he's hunting for the lead.
71 slots in here. He's a late season entrant to the series. Comes sort of from the grid life background of road racing, but he is not a slouch on the ovals either. Into second place in the highest running Ford Mustang in the field. You have to look a long ways back to find the next one of those things. Next blue oval, I think, is going to be Eddie Trejo running all the way back in 15th place.
Yeah, not a lot of Fords or Toyotas. Definitely a Chevy-heavy sort of league here, but they're always up at the front, so I guess it shows here. Carwell's got a big run. He probably has the freshest tires compared to most of the leaders around him. Same thing for Travado. He might have a real shot at this lead here. You got to get it soon. You want to get that lead before green flag pit stops. At least you got one more to go.
Closing in on 50 laps to go. Carwile painting the blue line on the bottom with the left side of that Goodyear. and closing in on the race leader.
He's definitely got the pace advantage here, but getting him to him is one thing, passing him is another. I don't know how he's going to pull off that pass. I think it's going to come down to Wright slipping out of the corner, and does everyone have a good enough run down the straightaway to get under him, possibly.
Nose to tail now. Another sort of calm period while we wait for the chaos to escalate again.
Pretty much single file throughout the entire there's any side-by-side racing going on right now. Close racing here and there, but no one's going for that pass. You definitely don't want to go to the outside.
33-24 slamming the door shut. That was almost a crash there, as these guys are not working together super well right now. They are throwing blocks and trying to get creative with where they're opening the doors, and Bailey Turner almost turned the 33 there.
How important track position is. Those two are teammates right now. Downey gets loose at it too, but those two are teammates, but that track position means so much. You want to be that guy who's in front getting the push closest to the lead, and that's how much it means. You'll block your own teammate to have that track position, trying to stay in that fourth position.
Across the line now, lap number 90 of 140. Jeff Wright leads into turn one, Carwile second. Cabot, after cooling those tires down, he's right back and ready to fight for P2 again.
Got a bit of a better run. Travado pushing him down the backstretch, but not enough of a run to go for that second position. Carwile just can't get to the bumper of Wright to make any sort of move here. Getting really stacked up here at the front.
This time through 50 laps to go for Jeff Wright as he comes out of turn number 4 across the line. He's led the most laps tonight, but is he the most dominant?
Downey getting chopped by Turner. We know their history. Downey wanted the bottom, didn't get it there. Gonna let Turner send himself into turn number 1 there. As Carwell getting a good run out of 2, but he slips a little bit. Cabot's up the racetrack.
Down the back straightaway again. Nose to tail from first all the way through. Here comes AJ Stravato to the bottom of Cabot. That's for P3. I don't know if that's going to be a winning move. I don't know if you can really make a pass like that in 3 and 4, but he's going to give it a try.
Well, so close to being close enough to make the move, but he just does not have enough of a run down these straights to be able to make it work. Stravato had the look. I'm surprised he wasn't able to make that line work there. He just didn't stick to the blue line and let Cabot get back by with a bit of a gap.
A lot of throttle right now.
He might have a run here.
Here comes the 24.
I think he's just going to stay in line.
Oh, that was almost a passing opportunity. Carwile is right up underneath the 48. And like the gates to heaven, they just open up every time out of turn 4. You see that hole open, the light of the setting Concord sun come through, and we want to go for it.
Downey, a huge dive to the bottom of Bailey Turner there. Turner's going to pinch him down, doesn't want to give that spot up, but way sideways, and now he's going to lose the spot to Calusa.
Kills momentum every time you get those right rear tires out into the wind. And the 48 slides up the racetrack. Carwile will have a great opportunity here.
Definitely going to have him here. Jeff Wright can't block that. Just has too much of a run. Carwell's going to lead this lap easily. Cabot's got the run as well.
Opportunity taken. Carwile to the race lead. Wright's going to power on the outside to try to maintain overlap. He can't do it though. Now Wright and Cabot will scrap for second.
I don't know what lane you want to block down the straightaway, but you got to stay on the bottom here. Jeff Wright just wants to get back down to the bottom here. Going to try to slot in behind his teammate after Cabot. Maybe a crossover. Cabot up the racetrack. Can't do it. Cabot's got the run for the lead now.
Here he comes. 180 miles an hour off into turn 1. Looked for it, couldn't get there.
We might hit him again. Hits the apron. That's really going to check up everyone back there. He's going to get loose as well. Here comes right back for the second position.
AJ Stravato watching from behind to see which line prevails here. Now Bailey Turner going to drop to the bottom behind the 24.
Now it's 2 by 2. That's what Carwile wants to see. Wright slipping up the track. Cabot getting way sideways. Look at his hands on the wheel right there. They're going to lose some time to Carwile here, scrapping like this. Travado's up on the top with nothing to do now. Bailey Turner getting up to the 4th position. Help from Calusa.
Carwile leads right now. The battle behind him is for second. Cabot's through. He might be out of the fray for now. Jeff Wright going to be the rear gunner. Try to take down some of the enemies behind him, but these are frenemies, Connor. Some of these guys are their friends.
Most of them on their team. Cabot second, Wright third, Turner fourth, Stravato fifth. I believe they're all teammates. The only lone dogs here, you got Bryce Calusa, Ryan Carwile, Tim Downey Jr. I believe they're all solo, not on the same team, but they might have to try to form something out here because those teammates together is a dangerous combination. The 77's all the way back to Carwile's back bumper.
He wants a look at it. That was almost an opportunity. Got about just the bow tie up underneath the 71, but not enough to knock Carwile up off the bottom. He's gonna have another look.
Scrapping for the lead in this lead pack of like 8 cars. It's brought back guys like Alex Bell, Brandon Bowers. They're back up here with a chance to get some position before green flag pit stops.
Now, when's that going to be? Look at the 48 through the turf again on the front straightaway. When are the pit stops going to happen? We've got 40 laps to go here shortly. I'd imagine if you're going to make a pit stop, you're going to want to make it in the next 10 to 15 maybe?
I think you might want to look shorter than that. Last restart was lap 62. Look at a slide job by Cabot there. Last restart about lap 62. So you kind of want to split that up around lap 100, I'd say. Maybe lap 105 or so. So only about maybe 7 to 10 more laps, I'd say. I think we're going to see people in pit road. You might see some people do undercuts like the 26 and the 50. Guys back there who aren't really with this lead back might have to try something.
Carwile didn't go defensive into turn 3. I think he likes this outside lane, but it's not going to be a winning lane to choose, so he's going to have to drop back in behind the 48 car. The hole is going to open only for a moment out of turn 2. If he can drop in behind the 24, not going to get there.
That outside's really there. We saw the 48 struggle up there, and I think we're going to see the 71 drop all the way back to this lead pack if he doesn't get a hole here. You know Bailey Turner's not going to give it to him. Get right slipping up out of turn 4. Seven's going to get a bit of a run. I don't think he can do it, though. Here goes Cabot starting to get a bit of an advantage here.
Nobody went down pit lane this time. We hit lap 100. Next time by 40 laps to go. Oh, man. Down the back straightaway, the 48's going to pop over to the left. Now the battle side by side is for third as Cabot and Wright go back to resuming where they were about 10, 15 laps ago.
Got our first pitter here. Zach Halperin's going to come in this time. No help. No one else coming in with him. Side note, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden Travado has a lot of front-end damage. I have no idea where that came from.
It might have been an accordion effect. Oh, that car is destroyed. He's definitely been to the back of somebody. I wonder if we can put the pieces together. Oh, look at the 25. I would venture to say that those pieces fit together pretty nicely.
That's an easy puzzle. Easiest puzzle we've ever completed.
They're the only cars with damage up front.
Yeah. Other than 26, you obviously pit. No other pitters in that lead pack this time, but they definitely had a... We saw them stacking up like that when they were battling for the lead. Must have been one of those deals. I think that's definitely going to hurt Stravato more than Downey. As you can see, that's probably why he's back in the back of this lead pack game.
Out of turn 2, Cabot and Wright have a slight advantage over Bailey Turner. There's a big slide from somebody in the background.
So, yeah, Case Lacadas, Jonathan Hernandez. Don't know what happened there. They were battling for 10th behind this entire pack.
No more pitters from the lead pack just yet. They're still kind of scrapping for position. Carwile, I'm just seeing so many comers and goers, Connor, where you drive up to the front, you lead a couple laps, and then you burn up the tires and drop back in line in 7th to 10th. That's been the storyline so far tonight. No one other than the 48 and 77 have been able to stay up there for a long period of time.
Even Stravato, one of the dominant drivers all season, he's done the same thing at the back of this lead pack with damage. Only these two, Cabot and Wright, have been really the only ones to stay up at the front. Bailey Turner as well. He hasn't really made any aggressive moves. He's just been able to take advantage of the drivers who do wear up their tires, get stuck on that top lane. He's all the way up to third because of it.
So an early pit stop for the 26 to Halpern. Going to be on a very different strategy than the rest of the field. What do you think about that stop? I mean, we're running 2 seconds off pace, so he's going to gain a lot of time, but his tires will be burned way up by the tail end of this race.
Yeah, we'll see how long these guys run it. Jeremy Miller, who's back in the pack somewhere with that damage, he's pitting. But I don't know. I don't think it's really going to be the winning strategy. If he gets out of their draft range, maybe he has he gives himself enough time where maybe he has a chance of fending off these guys in this pack. But he was back there with damage, just struggling. It was just really a shot in the dark for him.
Down the backstretch now. 1 through 5, all pretty much nose to tail. Alex Bell's dropped slightly off in 6th. 35 laps to go. Any more drivers pitting this time? Looks like we got maybe some thinking about it. There's Bowers and Ryan Carwile. That got a little tight out of turn 4. And Stravato's very Craigslist-looking 33 following in behind the 71.
Yeah, Carwile really wore his stuff up going for the lead there. As you can see, these guys have really dropped off this lead pack. Top 5 pulling away. Tim Downey Jr. in that 5th position. Alex Bell in 6th. Can't stay with them. Carwile, Stravato, Bowers all struggling together, it seems.
The lead has sort of fizzled for now, but we're far from over. Still a pit stop expected for all of the race leaders.
Brandon Bowers is going to be the next one to come down to pit lane here.
I like pitting on my own here. I think getting a clean racetrack is going to be important. Casey Lakatos is going to come down as well. I like having your own clean racetrack to get your pitting done and get back out there. I think right now other traffic around you is going to be a hindrance in more ways than one.
Wright might be pitting. He's showing Bailey Turner the outside. He doesn't want to give that inside lineup. I think Wright's going to pit. Is anyone else going to come in with him? Hernandez is going to come in. Not sure if he's in this lead pack. 48's also going to come in by himself, but the 33 of Stravato is going to follow him.
Oh, locked it down. He's going to catch the wall on the entrance to pit lane. Yeah. And minor damage, but it's damage nonetheless.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
you really, if you destroy that right front like that, it changes the car for the worse. That's a decent amount of damage. That's really going to hurt him. He might have sped as well. He was flying in there. Jonathan Hernandez and Eddie Trejo also pit that time.
We'll see if he has to make an extended stay in pit lane. Meanwhile, the race leader, Adam Cabot, will stay out another lap. Will anybody else?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the 25 sideways.
Woo!
He might miss pit road. Yes, he does.
Oh.
He missed it completely.
Tim Downey Jr. misses pit lane. Here's another look at it.
You're way too. I don't think he was going to pit there. I think he reacted to people in front of him pitting. He got on the apron. That got him out sideways, overcorrected, locked it up, and it was too late. He couldn't make that turn.
Oh, that is so frustrating. That's just going to kill all of your speed. Downey drops down the order. Now he's going to have to hope for a caution to help reset some of this. That is a disastrous.
Cabot's going to be the next one to come in. Bailey Turner's going to assume that Cabot flies in there. I think he got on the pit road speed nicely. Bailey Turner is the race leader. I think Zach Halpern's tail end of the lead lap right now. Carlisle's still second.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Halpern can do. He's been lapping a couple seconds quicker the last little bit. We also only have 30 laps to go. That's about 15 minutes worth of racing. If he's out in front by 8 to 10 seconds, Connor, he might conceivably be able to hang on to this if he just treats his tires well. Think of how hard everyone was just racing, how much tire they burned off. Zach Halpern has to do none of that. He can just run laps right now.
Bailey Turner flying in the pit lane. He might have sped as well. Pit 45 miles per hour. I think he might have sped as well. By the way, speaking of speeding, I think Jeff Wright had if you look at his pit road time, I think he for sure had an extra stay in there.
Oh, yeah, the 24 definitely will end up with a speeding penalty. Jeff Wright on pit lane for 54 seconds. Yes, a speeding penalty for Jeff Wright. That is disastrous.
That kind of hands the whole lead. I think this definitely puts this race into the hands of Adam Cabot. I know Halpern pit earlier, but I think this is Cabot's race to lose now. I'm trying to see Bailey Turner left sides go down. And yes, obviously a big hold for the 24. So two drivers with a big chance to take the win. They were second and third before they pit, and now they're completely out of contention.
Well, that's going to mix up a whole lot of drivers. Ryan Carwile is out front trying to play the long game here. Steve Turner doing the same. Zach Halpern will cycle out, and I am curious to see how this strategy works. I sort of like this just because it's different, and we've seen a lot of people do the same thing tonight. I like the idea of trying something completely out of the box. We'll see if Halpern can make an undercut work.
I'm trying to look at where he is in relation to anyone else around him. I'm trying to see who's on sort of same strategy. Bowers was the next one to pit after him, and he's got a long ways back to Bowers, who's got a long way back, a bit of a ways back to Stravato. Carwell's coming in this time by, but he's got a gap to work with just under 30 laps to go. There might be a chance.
And if there's a caution in 15 laps, I mean, that'll save him if he's about to get past. He's running about a half second slower than Stravato right now. But again, I don't know. It's every time we see this undercut strategy, I have yet to see this really work in this context. But I always like someone giving it a go. I don't think Halpern was going to win the race doing what everyone else was doing. I like this call just because he could win the race. He was not going to the other way.
Another thing to look at, if we do get that yellow, is Alex Bell's going to come off of pit road now. I wonder if he got a penalty. He's 2 or 3 laps down all of a sudden. He might have also got a penalty. It's going to really hurt Stravato if there is a yellow. I believe he's out of tire sets, so if we do get a yellow, I think a lot of guys, there's a few guys that don't have a fresh set left.
Ryan Carwile into and off of pit lane. He is pulling the exact opposite strategy of Halpern. He's going to have the freshest tires on the racetrack. We'll see if he can make him worth it. It's been a little tricky to make passes, but as I say that, we've had probably some of the most lead changes in this race tonight that we've had all season, 17 in 114 laps. So that's a pretty big number. But Halpern's tires are starting to show their age now. I see the 15 go by.
Finally takes the race lead. Might have led his first lap of the race entirely, as Alex Bell's going to take one of his 3 laps back there. He definitely got a speeding penalty. A lot of speeding penalties, screwing a lot of drivers over. Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner, they're both 1 lap down, fighting for that lucky dog. I believe Wright has it easily. It's just mistakes like that that can cost you a win like that. They were in prime contention, and they pretty much blew it.
So right now, Brandon Bowers just lapped almost a full second quicker, 7/10 of a second quicker than Zach Halpern last time by. That means Halpern's going to get buried in traffic. Now, the one thing he can do is try really hard to hold off Bowers and Stravato and create chaos behind him to wear out their tires. This race needed to be about 15 to 20 laps shorter for the strategy to work out, I think, and he's not going to get that.
What is really the main race to look at, you got Bowers who short pit Stravato, and obviously Halpern short pit all of them. And Bowers is really going to battle here to be the first one to get to Zach Halpern. If he can be the first one to pass that 26, then the real race starts, because his battle for the lead is really with Stravato right now, but I think Stravato's tires are just way fresher.
And where is Ryan Carlisle to come out? He just ran a 28.956. That was his best lap of the race. So Carlisle, that actually might have been one of the best races, or one of the best laps, I should say. Almost one of the best laps of the race.
Bowers Stravato all the way to the blue line on the back straightaway. He does not want to give up this spot easily. Going to bring Calusa and Cabot up into this. The 33's tires are just way newer, way fresher than the 31. He doesn't have much to fight with. 33 is also trying to get away from Cabot, who went longer than pretty much all of them.
Now it comes down to how long is it going to take? And my bet is not very long for Stravato to get to Halpern. Last time by, even with the distraction, he was about a 6/10 of a second quicker a lap. As we close in on 20 laps to go, Halpern sees those cars coming. I think he knows it's inevitable. He's just hoping and praying that we get a caution to equalize things out in 5 to 6 laps.
It might happen for that second position because it's spread out otherwise, but the battle for second is so huge. Stravato got up to it. Bowers trying to hold off the 20 and the 77 now. I think Cabot's in the best position, but he has to get through these guys quickly. That's not going to happen. You know these two are not going to let him by that easily. He's got the run on the bottom of Calusa. Calusa's going to put the block on him. Oh boy, Calusa blinked. That's not going to work well. 77 might just shove him into turn 3. Can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think Cabot has a lot of time to waste here. I think he's got to go. If he spends too much time messing around with these guys, oh, I heard an engine explode. I think it was on pit lane. Might have been Steinhauser's car. Getting dicey for third place now as they come across the line. Calusa gets shoved through by Cabot as they all close in on Halpern.
I'm not able to pull away from these guys. If Cabot can get by this 20 quickly, I think it's trouble for Stravato. He's going to get to the 26 of Halpern right out of turn 4. Look at the swap over into turn number 3. What a brilliant move by Cabot to get under him here.
He just schooled him, took him to class right there, and Cabot goes through into third now with 20 laps to go. Halpern leads but has no tire. Stravato is here to play, and the 77 is here to party. 1, 2, 3, 20 to go from Charlotte.
Halpern's obviously not going to give it to him. 20 to go this time by. Not much to fight with, but you got to fight with what you got. The Halpern, the 77, Cabot's going to have to run. He's going to get under his teammate Stravato here, kind of box him in.
Big
Halpern's
block.
He's not giving up easy.
The 33 swings to the right to try to go the long way around. The 26 holds up to 77. They're side by side, 3 wide through turn 4. Now they come off the corner. Halpern, 20, 33, 77, all on top of each other. 19 to go.
Stravato backed out. I think he senses a wreck, and I don't blame him. What lane do you block if you're Halpern? He blocks
all
the
of
bottom,
them.
Doesn't let Cabot go up the 5th, and Calusa's the one.
Oh, they crashed!
But he's gonna Cabot involved. Brandon Bowers damage. The yellow is out just like that, and that yellow that Zach Halpern needed, it's him who is the yellow.
Wow. Saw that coming from a mile away. That was never going to work. He gave it all he had, Connor. You can't blame him for trying.
Like I said, 44 races since he's won, and he saw that checkered flag coming with 20 to go. And I tell you what, that is huge. That's huge for Stravato for 2 reasons. 1, because he backed out of all that, sensing that wreck. And 2, I'm pretty sure he's out of tire, so it's going to get interesting. Halpern doing everything he can to stay up there. Just hit the apron, clips Calusa. Cabot, the dominant driver of the day, nowhere to go. Bowers gets big damage. Stravato gets by all of this. And in all of this, I believe Jeff Wright is going to be your lucky dog.
Well, I think that Cabot got a little bit of damage. I'm not sure it's going to be race ending. The 26 is done, I think, for the day. Everyone else, though, got away with minimal damage, I think. Adam Cabot's is really the question mark. Doesn't look, it's not great, but it's not the worst I've seen. I think he can come down and get some of it fixed.
We got to look at that move for the lead, because Bryce Calusa's the leader. That might be the move of the race, because he was able to get by all that. I don't think he got damaged when Halpern hit him.
Seems like everyone wants to reminisce about yesterday.
That worked out huge for the 20.
Yeah, here's another look at this. Let's go back and look in at full speed here. This is the move.
Stravato did stay out because he is out of tires, so this restart's going to be wild. Look at Calusa, the move he's able to make here.
Drives around the outside, gets hit, and just drives off into the distance as the field gets collected behind him. Let's look one more time from on board.
He saw that move 3 wide middle, able to make it work. Travado backed out. He was second with Cabot on the bottom. Obviously, Halpern's going to take that bottom there, so Kalusa has free track to the outside. And in the meantime, 26 hits that apron. He goes kind of through Bryce Kalusa, which really saved the 20's race, because that could have been an even bigger wreck if he did get turned.
One more time, having a look at the 26 just catch the apron right here. Comes up the racetrack, and the Cabot car just turns left to try to miss it. And he does a good job not overcompensating, ending up in the barrier. Look at that car take a bunny hop and corrects it back to the right as the 26 slams into the safer barrier and attenuates all that foam and steel and concrete. And with that, we're going to have about 15 laps to go at the restart. About 7 or 8 minutes worth of racing left to go.
I don't think we're going green to the end at all, because you got Travado up there without any tires up there. He's going to be very weak on this restart. I believe Eddie Trejo might have stayed out as well. I don't know if he's going to pit here, but I think he's going to be scored second. Then Kalusa on back on 4 fresh tires. Trejo is going to pit. Travado does as well. I think he's just going to go to the back to get out of the way.
Interesting, to say the least. Just across the line. See if get the 1 to green. It should be 2 to green, I think, this time through, and it will be. Sun is setting here on the regular season. Connor, lay me down where our point situation is looking like for our top 12 drivers, and who is definitely moving on. Well, you mentioned the top 7 are locked in, but on the bubble, who's had a bad night, who's had a good night, and what are we looking forward to when we head to Talladega next week?
Well, Zach Floyd's definitely struggled. He was 11th, 29 to the good. I really don't think anyone's going to get in from under the cut line, but really Floyd and Miller, Zach Floyd, Jeremy Miller, they've had awful nights, but saying that, Jeremy Miller, all of a sudden, he got up into the top 15. He was top 10. I think he pulled a big undercut there, trying to get up to the front. Floyd Miller, awful nights. Clifton Cockrell's had a decent night. If he can win and Miller has issues, maybe there's an outside chance there. Sam Devantier, I don't even know if he showed up. He's definitely out. Zach Halpern, he just wrecked there, but he was 37 to the good. I think he should be safe just because of starting. Same thing for Jonathan Hernandez and Case Lacadas. They started the race. They should be in.
Take a deep breath. It'll be the last time you get a chance to get some oxygen before the last 14 laps of this race. That's how much we're going to have when we get the green. So and get that oxygen pumping through, because it's all you're going to get for the next 14 laps in Charlotte. Reminder that tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, SRO America Esports, myself and Ryan Marine covering some Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3 and GT4 racing from Italy's fastest racetrack, Monza. They'll be over on the GT World YouTube channel and on their Facebook and Twitch. Make sure you drop on by to support. All right, purple lights, 1 to green. Let's line them up, go again. Oh man, this is, there's always that moment where you look at the field and you're trying to figure out who's not going to be there at the end. You probably look at half these drivers and say that they're probably going to load those virtual race cars up on the virtual hauler as a virtual pileup, a virtual jump.
Like I said, I don't see this going green. 14 lap dash to the finish. You got Kalusa, who was fortunate enough to get to the lead. Cabot's up there. He's been the dominant car other than Jeff Wright. Wright got the lucky dog, but I believe he's out of tires. Bauer's there, hungry for another win. Carlisle, who was playing the long game, almost made it work there. Hernandez up to 5th all of a sudden. Don't know where he came from. A lot of guys here hungry for a win. This is going to get really wild. We got 16 cars on the lead lap now, and about 7 cars, I believe, were out of this race due to damage. So I think we're going to see a lot more drivers packing up, going home on a wrecker.
So 14 laps to decide our regular season finale from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next week, we'll be taking on the 2.66 mile Talladega Super Speedway next week at 10/9 Central. Bryce Kalusa, Adam Cabot sharing that front row, but you cannot share the trophy. Someone's going to have to win it, and someone's going to have to go home without one. Green flag back in the air. The 20 car fires off. 14 to go.
It's going to be interesting to see how that damage hurts Adam Cabot in the draft there. We'll see if he's able to suck up the 20 as well. Those two get shot out right ahead of the rest of the pack as Carlisle gets the 3rd. Not a good restart for the one of Hernandez.
Think about green-white checkers as well. Where you want to restart, how you want to handle that. The 31 is stacking them up on the bottom of the racetrack. 3 wide into turn 3. That was tight.
That's big for those top three. Those three are gone. Brandon Bowers trying to be the next one gone. Hernandez loose on the bottom. Look at Steve Turner going 3 wide. Where did he come from?
Oh, that's not going to work, boys. Got to get that sorted out by the time they get to turn 1. They will. Steve Turner is ready to party here tonight, isn't he?
He hasn't partied all race. Oh, he's going to get loose, though, on to be apron, able to save it. He keeps it down there. Miller goes by. Bowers trying to get draft from Carwile as the top three are pretty much gone. Calusa weaving back and forth down the back straightaway to keep the 77 at bay.
Yeah, Carwile is the one I'm watching because these front two, we know they're going to fight. We know they're going to slow each other down. Carwile is that dark horse sitting in third. I don't know if Bowers has the car to win. I don't think Hernandez has the car to win. We've seen the 71 go up there in lead. I think he's perfectly capable.
I really do think it's down to these three. I just don't know if Bowers can get there without contact happening, but we've seen contact happen plenty of times this race. We can see it again. This is really the first time we've seen the leader weave back and forth to break that draft. Not sure how well it's working. The 77 driving it in hard into these turns and able to carry a decent amount of speed out of the corners to get that run down these back and front straights.
Bryce Calusa came into the night third in the standings. So far this season, he has one victory that came a couple weeks ago at Road Atlanta. This would be his first to win on an oval, but he's got the 77 knocking on the door behind him.
You're used to seeing it a mile and a half, maybe a bump and run happening here. 77 tried it, couldn't make it work there, but he's got coming this time by 10 laps to make it work. Here comes Carwile with a run. Cabot way sideways, driving the wheels off that thing.
10 laps to go from Charlotte, 15 miles to decide the regular season winner. Coming on through the line, Calusa, Cabot, Carwile, Bowers, Tim Downey Jr. in the 25. Remember him? He missed pit lane, Connor. That was a huge mistake. He's back to the top 5 for the lead. Here they come down the back straightaway to the blue line underneath it. Now he's going to cycle back in behind him. That was almost disaster.
That happened before. That's going to hurt Calusa on exit of turn 4 here. The 77's going to have the run. He could have turned him, decided not to. Carwile's in the catbird seat. I agree with you. I think these two are going to make a lot of contact. But meanwhile, it's a hornet's nest for 4th. With all these new contenders. Tim Downey Jr. up to 4th. Case Laconis in the top 5. Where did he come from? Jeremy Miller all the way up to 7th with his rival Clifton Cockrell in 8th.
Make that car wide. Calusa's going to cover the bottom. Oh, the hole's going to open here for Cabot on exit, but he's going to push up the racetrack. He doesn't have the tire to turn it down on exit. 8 laps to go from Charlotte.
This is when Carwile has to go for it. You see the 77 almost getting that lead away. Here goes Cabot with the dive. He's not going to make it work. I think Carwile's got to go for that lead now. He's got to get up there now.
Oh, there goes the 77. Big slide out of turn 2. Carwile up the outside, going to go for a second. Drag race down the backstretch. Calusa behind him. There's a big slide at the bottom of the racetrack. 50 and 30. Almost touching. He gets turned.
He's got to turn him. Oh, that might not be a yellow. He keeps it straight. That's not going to be a yellow. I can't believe that. He was able to save it off the wall. Miller turned him. But meanwhile, that battle for the lead is still hot. That's exactly what Calusa needed. A bit of breathing room. But now I think he's got a better competitor in Ryan Carwile behind him.
Blocking is a self-policing strategy. If you do it, okay, you're going to get yourself turned, though. Carwile is now second. Cabot slides to third. And now it's a battle between Chevrolet and Ford at the front of the field. 6 laps to go. Next time by.
Blocking gone wrong there. I can't believe that wasn't a yellow. Carwile all over that rear bumper of Calusa, but nowhere to go with it. Top 4 pretty much away. How about Tim Downey Jr. up there in 4th? He's got a shot at this thing.
He's coming back into the party. 6 laps to go. 5 next time by. Carwile in the Ford Mustang right to the rear bumper. Can he nudge the 20 out of the way? The hole's going to open on the outside. He's going to go for it. Calusa covers.
I think Carwile's going to get baited here. He's going to go low. You see Calusa's going to chop him. He might get turned for doing this, though. He's going to get bumped up the track. Exactly what Carwile needed. Down to the bottom. Can he hold it?
Side by side for the lead. 5 laps to go from Charlotte. Ryan Carwile, a late entry to the Outsider Racing League. Comes from a road course racing background. He's going for the lead in an oval with 5 laps to go. Cabot sees the hole open. Can he follow through for second?
That 77. If he has a chance to go 3 wide, he is going to take it. Cabot's going to go for the win and nothing else. Tim Downey Jr. might be in the best seat. Has the best seat in the house. Here's the 71 side drafts to 20 down that back straight.
Still neck and neck, door to door, number to number. The sun in the eyes at the exit of turn 4. 4 laps to go. They're counting down now.
This is what Calusa has now. He can't get back to the bottom. I don't think he has any opportunity to. He's got a pinch at 71. If he gets turned for it, so be it. Look at the run Cabot's got on the bottom. He's going to look 3 wide. That's going to leave Carwile with a decision to make. Does he side draft to 20 or block the 77?
He might try to push the 71 through. I think the bottom's the place to be. Carwile's going to nose ahead into turn 3, but it hasn't been decisive. Cabot makes a mistake, gets the apron, drives up the racetrack. That's going to be Oh, big loss for the 77 this time through. 3 laps to go for the leaders.
Cabot didn't need that, but I think he can get back up there in time because of them being side by side. Don't think he'll hurt too much. But look at Tim Downey Jr. going for the 3rd position. Cabot dives down there to protect that position. He's going to lose even more time here as they're still dead even for the lead.
I predict that all 4 of these cars are not going to make it back to the checkers. Next time by 3 miles, 2 laps. Pick anybody, put them in a coffee can and shake them up, dump them out, see which lands on the heads, because I don't know who's got it as they come out of turn 4.
Carwell's got the run, but just can't quite clear him. Calusa's got to pinch him as hard as he can. Got to get right to that right rear with 2 to go here. This is his last shot. He has room to get back under him, maybe cross him over, but I don't think he can risk doing that and lose that 2nd position to Cabot. Look at the way he pinches him here. He's better in 1 and 2, but Carwell has his number in 3 and 4.
If they get to the white flag and they don't make a mistake in turn 1, it's going to be between one of these 2 cars. I don't think Cabot can make it 3 wide safely. I don't think he's willing to stick the car down there when he's not running for points. As they come out of turn 4, white flag one more time around at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
The best run Calusa got on the outside. If he can do that next time by, he actually clears them. Carwell gets back behind him here. I can't believe he did that. He's going to have one more run at him out of one of these corners. He's gearing up.
Final time down the backstretch. Calusa going to cover the middle. Carwell's going to build a run. He's going to go to the bottom. The 20 goes to block. He can't get there. The 20 gets turned to the lead.
No!
He saves it.
Cabot's going to have to run. Cabot's
Carwell.
him. Here comes Tim Downey Jr. Run.
Oh, they could have crashed.
Can he get there?
Carwell.
Brian Carwell.
Carwell's got it. Carwell's
My
got
God.
it. That was unbelievable. Ryan Carwell wins here at Charlotte by a 1/10 of a second and by a puff of smoke.
I can't believe he held on to that thing. We saw that coming. We knew he was going to have to go to the bottom. He wasn't going to make that work on the top, and I think Calusa, I don't know if he came down or Carwell came up, but somehow Carwell hung on to it. Cabot couldn't get by him. Then Cabot and Tim Downey Jr. hit. I thought Tim Downey might have had it there, but Carwell was able to hang on.
Wow. We'll go back and look at it here in a moment, but a first win for Ryan Carwell in the Outsider Racing League. We'll catch his celebration first. Then we'll go back and have a look at that finish. That was something.
Oh, yeah, that was something. We have a lot of things to look at there. Licata's getting turned there. I can't believe that wasn't a yellow. Jeremy Miller kind of turned him into turn number 3, which is exactly what happened for the race lead on the final lap into turn 3.
Well, we're going to have to go back and look really at the start of this lap, because it all starts at the exit of turn 2 here. The 71 builds this run. Calusa doesn't cover, which I thought was so strange. The 71 then dives through the bottom, and then as soon as the 20 comes down here, it's game on. I think the 20 car, I don't know, that's tricky for me, Connor. I think they should have left him a little bit more room, but you can't. I mean, it's the last lap. I think he did what he had to do, and then the 25 and 77 collided. What an unbelievable race to the checkers.
I can't imagine Tim Downey's going to be really happy about getting bulldozed like that. He didn't say anything over to Rado. He just reset. Look right here. He blocks. I think he should have blocked more aggressive there, but he didn't. And he kind of turns in, and the 71's not on the bottom. But at the end of the day, they're racing for a win, and whoever gets to that corner first is going to win. And you got to take that spot.
Every time I see a situation like this, Connor, when it comes down to throwing a block like this, when we come down to talking about was there more room on the bottom, well, I think the first question you should ask is how much room is there up on the top. So that's I think that's totally fair game for me for the 71. Right here is where the 20 car slides. Great save, by the way. Then the 77-25, he goes up the racetrack. The 77 turns right, clobbers the 25, and then Carwell makes it across the checkers unscathed.
For sure, Cabot was not letting down. He won that race. He just they kind of got hooked. He turned right a little bit and put that 25 into a wall. A huge drama. And on top of that, Licata's, who was in line for a potential top 5, gets turned by the 30. No yellow for that, surprisingly, and everyone gets out. I wouldn't say unscathed, but definitely maybe a little scarred.
Well, there's your top 10, and you could throw a couple of drivers in there that we hadn't talked about all night long. Clifton Cockrell in the 16 comes home in 6th. Ben Laughter grabs the top 10 in the 9th spot in the number 64. Steve Turner creeps up in there in the number 46. But I think all the talk is those front runners. Casey Licata, after that big moment he had, he ends up 14th. AJ Stravato 15th. Jeff Wright 16th. Not a good day for the drivers we were watching most of the day, with the exception of Cabot. He will come home in 2nd by a 10th behind Ryan Carwell. We're going to talk to your race winner, Cabot, Downey, and Calusa here in just a moment. Stay put. We'll be right back. Back live on Sim TV with our fourth place finisher, Bryce Calusa in the number 20. Won a race at Road Atlanta a couple weeks ago. Coming to Charlotte tonight, and you started this race in fourth, and you finished exactly where you started, but you were coming to the checkers in the lead. Tell us about that restart, and then the run all the way those last 14 laps and trying to hold off Ryan Carwile coming to the checkers.
Yeah, so took the lead over, and then we got that caution. I knew I was in for. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy win because I had Cabot and a couple other fast guys behind me, but I was really battling hard to hold off Cabot there. Yeah, I have nothing to say really. Just a hard racing incident there with Ryan at the end. I just really wanted it that bad, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Pretty phenomenal entertainment, regardless of the coming out not with the gold star tonight, Bryce. But hey, A for effort. That was an awesome battle there between you guys, and great respect again, as you mentioned, a racing incident. Hopefully, no harm, no foul there. But I know that you wish you would have come out the other side. But regardless, great effort, great job running inside the top 5, and good luck to you at Talladega next week.
Thanks, sir.
Moving on now to Tim Downey Jr., who came home in third, and it was a battle back from an issue coming to pit lane a little earlier in the night, but on that restart, charging forward, third place, almost had second, and maybe had enough momentum to get that win, but didn't quite make it that far. The safer barrier ended that run. Tim, take me through the run down to the checkers there as you came to the outside of the 77. What happened?
Well, I want to just say I'm really satisfied with the way this race went for me. It was a lot of fun. Was having a lot of fun out there. Coming to the checkers, I knew there was going to be trouble. I just didn't know where I was going to go. Unfortunately, the 77 and I got together, and I went straight into the wall. I felt like we could have had the win there.
Tim, hey, congratulations on a third place. I know that was tough circumstances for everybody there, and not everybody can come out on top all at once. But I'd say a phenomenal night for you, and great job, and thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah, we may not be running for the championship this year, but that was a whale of fun, and I started practicing again. Oh, wait, no, I didn't.
Well, that fun is all what we're here for, Tim. Just virtual race cars on a virtual racetrack, so good to have a smile on the face at the end of it. So congrats, and good luck to you at Talladega next week.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Moving on now to our second place finisher, Adam Cabot in the number 77 by 1/10 of a second. Just missed out. Take us through the epic battle that you were watching out front and maybe having a run at it to the checkers.
Yeah, that was certainly one of the wilder finishes I've ever been a part of. Pretty disappointed because I felt like I had race-winning speed, and a lot of the fast guys had some issues at the end there, a lot of my teammates, and thought I was going to kind of have a pretty easy path to victory. And then when Halpern spun in front of me, I got some right front damage, which didn't look too bad. It was only like 12.5 seconds, but I knew on that last restart when I was right behind Bryce and he just got me by 2 car lengths before we even got to turn 1 that I just had no straightaway speed. So I just had to throw it into every corner and try to stay in their draft, because if I pulled out, it was like a parachute and I started dropping back. But yeah, I mean, I got what I was hoping for. I was hoping they were going to just take each other out since I knew I couldn't pull out to pass. And my only regret is not full throttling it into Ryan and pushing him out of the way. I got in his bumper a little bit, but I let off quite a bit before then. Just, I don't know. I think maybe I'm a little too nice at the end of these things. Kind of tough to get another second. Keep getting podiums, but want to get those wins. But definitely a really exciting finish, and congrats to Ryan on getting his first win. It's always cool to see first-time winner. But yeah, weird driving car, but I guess you can't really argue with the type of racing we saw there.
Pretty spectacular, and some karma in the cookie jar for Talladega next week for some friends. So if you make it out there, good luck to you, Adam, and thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah, I'll be there, and yeah, certainly hope so. Thanks.
Move on now to our race winner, first-time winner in the Outsider Racing League, Ryan Carwile. What an epic finish. I mean, first of all, where did you come from? Second of all, that was phenomenal driving there at the end. Stuck it down the inside, made it stick, and came out on top with the field having issues behind you. Take me through the last couple moments of that race and battling the 20-car Bryce Calusa.
Yeah, I think the first thing was on the restart. I was starting fourth, and I got just a good enough jump to get me down so I could be third. So that got me a good thing. And then few laps later, 77 got loose, and I don't know how. Somehow I managed to clear him on the outside. Then at that point, I was trying to, set up the 20, and I got to his inside, and he fended me off. But I managed to get just a good enough a run going into 3. I was actually surprised he left just a little bit of room. Yeah, the contact. I don't know. That was just close. I guess I had to go for that gap. The last lap.
Well, this is your first win here in this series. We head to Talladega next week, so there's definitely a chance you go 2 for 2 this week and next. But is Sonoma coming up? Is that the race that you're looking forward to most on the schedule?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, I guess, of Sonoma. I prefer actually prefer the Cup layout to the the carousel layout.
Well, Ryan, we're going to wish you the best of luck the next couple weeks. Congratulations. Enjoy the celebration of your first victory here. Watching the tail end of it right now in slow motion as the 77 and 25 got together behind you. Celebrate it. Congratulations, and we'll see you at Talladega. See if you can go get yourself another one and get win number 2.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whew. All right, Connor. Time to talk about the end of that and move on to Talladega. That was a wild one, but it's not over yet. We're just starting the chase. And no major changes in the top 12 heading into our playoff system, but it all begins next week at Talladega.
Wild one indeed tonight. We saw it was obviously Adam Cabot, Jeff Wright, the main contenders. Travado was fast as well. But at the end of the day, the one green flag pit stop we got in this race, 48 took himself out of it. And then we had strategy. Also, Bailey Turner took himself out of it. Then we had the wreck with the leader, Halpern, getting Cabot involved. Bowers got damaged. Then that dash to the finish. I thought Kalusa had it when he got clear into turn 1, but Carwell got enough of a run, got the positioning on Bryce Kalusa, and then it was on from there. There's no room for too wide there, and what happened, and Carwell came home a winner, and obviously those same 12 stayed up at the front. AJ Stavato, I believe, is the regular season champion. Then you got Jeff Wright, Bryce Kalusa, Alex Bell, Bailey Turner, Angelo Horonis, Brandon Bowers, Casey Lacadas, Jonathan Hernandez, Zach Halpern, Zach Floyd, and Jeremy Miller all moving on into this chase. So it's definitely going to be a wild start going to Dega.
Next week, Talladega Super Speedway for the Outsider Racing League. We'll see you tomorrow on GT World with myself and Ryan Marine for SRO Esports with SRO America and GT World Challenge America. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow for Monza with the Assetto Corsa Competizione and 3 Wide on Monday night. We'll see you. Have a good night.